Chairperson Chloe Papers.
Present.
Vice Chairperson is Joel Hattis.
Present.
Dr. Curtis Ivory is excused absence. Mr. Rick Manica.
Here.
Mr. Greg Race again.
Present.
Mr. John Paul
Here.
Ms. Vicky Wilbur.
Here.
It is 2:50 PM.
Thank you. Stand.
Because of El had his late. El had his excuse tardiness. I.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I got that out of order, I guess. Apologize. We'll take a motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved, Madam Chair. Supported.
It's been moved and supported. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And the agenda is adopted. Ms. Martin, the certification of public notice.
SMART will hold the September 28th, 2023 Board of Directors meeting at 2 PM in the Beal Building located on the sixth floor, 535 Griswold Street, Detroit, Michigan, 48226. This meeting is open to the public.
Thank you very much. I'll take a motion to approve the board meeting minutes for August 24, 2023.
So moved. Support.
It's been moved and supported. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion is approved. I'll take a motion to approve the executive session meeting minutes for August 24, 2023.
So moved.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And the minutes are approved. Thank you again for members of the public who are able to attend and could stay for while we were just a little bit delayed waiting for Mr. Hattis to join us. Wouldn't be the same without you.
My apology.
No. With members of the public, I don't think. Okay, sorry about that. Is there any member of the public that would like to participate? Please come to the podium and state your name and go ahead, sir.
Stephen Haring, Detroit, Wayne County. So currently I'm happy to see the expansion in Oakland County finally start, but there has been problems. There was a video on YouTube and Twitter of the Novi stop at 12 Oaks, which is probably going to be the most utilized stop in Novi. Currently, I mean, they have to walk nearly, I would say almost a mile on grass. There's no sidewalks there. Has SMART been in talks with the owners of 12 Oaks or the company that runs it? Because I mean, it's unacceptable the way that stop's set up, but you know, especially in winter, you know, when there's already snow mounts there, you know, they definitely need to look at, you know, if they don't want it going into the mall, that's one thing, but at least they make a proper stop and a sidewalk leading there. And next, of course, you know, the drivers pay, you know, I'm still disappointed that there hasn't, I don't know, has there been a contract negotiated? Because I've heard they're still working under no contract, which I still find very disappointing because, you know, the driver shortage is still a mess, you know. People are saying they're waiting up to 1 to 2 hours for buses, you know, they're not showing up. You might get two 462s showing up and then another 2 hours till a 461, you know. So it's really, you know, they really need to get that taken care of. And, you know, I hope to see finally the Rochester routes coming by January. That's been long awaited. And, you know, that's pretty much it.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ella Nukitin. I'm from Livingston County, Michigan. I want to start by saying that I really appreciate that the service has been expanded in Oakland County. I actually used that myself to get here this morning. I had to take a Let's Bus to the 5 mile buffer zone And then I had to walk 1.5 miles to get on the bus in Wixom, but I made it here. I would like it to be expanded a little bit further. That would be great, but I think the biggest problem is we still are facing problems with, buses not showing up, driver shortages. I think you need to sort out the issues regarding pay. I mean, expansions are really great, but you really, really need to make sure that the service is not being cut all the time, because then people will not want to use it. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, members of the board. I'm Lucas Lasecki from Farmington Hills, Oakland County. I'd like to start by extending my congratulations to the newly selected chair and vice chair on said selections. It'll be nice having you around for another year as chair and vice chair, and I'd like to join the chorus of voices expressing gratitude and satisfaction with the new expansions in Novi and Wixom. To say that it's a dream come true for me would be an understatement. It expands my world to the next town over, which it might seem small, but it makes my life a whole lot easier being able to get to Novi and shop by Smart. And it seems like the service, at least there, has been pretty reliable. I don't think I've seen a single cut on 740 or 305, at least so far, but I wish I could say the same for the rest of the system because cuts are still rampant. You never know when a bus is not going to show up. My anecdote for this month's meeting. I was visiting a friend of mine over at Oakland University on a Saturday. The 790 I would have needed for the chain of buses to get home got canceled. It was only because of a miracle with Flex that I was able to get home and not have to call an Uber. Very nearly spent a lot of money on that one, but thankfully Flex came through for me and I got home by the skin of my teeth. This is still a crisis. This needs to be solved. Need to get a new contract done, raise the wages, and begin retaining the drivers that you've recruited, because people are not sticking around for $19 an hour. People are not sticking around working without a contract for almost 10 months. And I think it's kind of funny that this negotiation with one local has taken nearly twice as long as Hollywood's negotiation with the entire Writers Guild. It's hilarious to me in a tragedy plus time sort of way. If I turned in an assignment for a class 10 months late, I'd fail. And your service is failing to deliver what it promises. So please get the contract negotiated. I don't want to have to get on my knees and beg. I just sound like a broken blues record at this point. So thank you for your time, and I look forward to seeing some improved services, a new contract, and written comments are in the record. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mike Rayner, Chesterfield Township. I'm kind of Mike, the bus stop guy. Couple of things. Number one, I'd like to have kind of a Q&A occasionally instead of just making comments. Many of our comments are questions that often are not answered. My main concern, actually, part of that was satisfied with an unexpected call from Harmony Lloyd the other day. I was concerned about service on 23 Mile Road, which along with Gratiot is our main two thoroughfares. And it was terrific when she told me that 23 Mile Road from Gratiot to New Baltimore would be extended and that they were working on that, which is terrific. Many of the riders that I talked to, really can't get from 23 in Gratiot to New Baltimore. So that'll be terrific. In talking to some of the employment agencies, which I think everybody should, I mentioned buses one time talking to Centec over there. And oh my goodness, she jumped all over me. I said, I'm not smart. Don't get mad at me. She said, I'm never gonna vote for millage again. I said, well, why is that? She said, well, tomorrow morning I could really hire 75 or 80 people. And these are jobs that pay 18, 19, 20 bucks an hour. These are not the typical 12, 13, $14 an hour jobs. But she said there's no service on 23 Mile Road. So don't talk to me about it. So what we really need is to extend 23 from Gratiot west to, now Amazon, they have more more clout than we do. So there's that little spur that goes from, I believe it's Shaner to the Amazon warehouse. So we need to fill in that space in between. A lot of businesses there, a lot of for hire signs. And we need to think about where the jobs are so that we can get our passengers there. So that's a biggie. The other thing is the appearance of the bus stops are ridiculous. I mean, I clean them up and it's like, you want pictures of the excrement that I have to clean up once in a while? How do you clean up when there's no hose? How do you clean up when there isn't a power washing program? I would suggest that you all kind of just take a little ride, stop at these bus stops and take a closer look because they're bad. They're bad. The other thing that can help with those that we don't do a good job on, and that's Adopt-A-Stop. We should talk to the Boy Scouts, which I'm trying to do, or other groups, that can they can earn their community service badges by helping with the Adopt-A-Stop. So there's a great opportunity. I know the last one I did, I was number 11. What do we have? 250 or 300 stops? I was number 11 out of 250 or 300. So I think that's kind of ridiculous. So I know I think the Detroit City Council wrote, anyway, I think you need to get out there. And more than anything, I think perhaps the supervisors in these areas need to make sure that they drive by. They do a pretty good job at the bus stops, but at the covered ones, but there are various other trash cans along the way that never get emptied unless I empty them. The other thing that we need,
Mr.
badly,
Rayner,
we need
yes.
occasional benches. Thank you very much.
thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Robert Plowski. I'm from Southgate, Wayne County, and today I'd like to not just express the most indebted service that we've had in Oakland County for many years, but now the expansion. I'm very happy to see the expansion going into Novi, seeing plans for expansions in Rochester, but all across the northern portions of Oakland County. It is well needed and also well deserved for all the residents in Novi and Rochester that look to use transit for their jobs. It is a dream come true for me, but it's also a dream come true for my friends, fellow activists, and colleagues that I work with. I am deeply proud to see the amount of money that we've put in to expand transit in Oakland County for the foreseeable future. One of the things, and I don't want to be a broken record when saying this, the driver pay, the contract, but I'm not going to get into it because I feel like I've been a broken record saying it, and I stand with what we need in terms of a contract and going forward. But I want to have a call for peace here today. I think there's been a great divide between us as fellow transit advocates at True and with Smart. Today, I want to work with all of you. I just had a conversation with Bernard, and correct me if I'm saying this wrong, Safe, earlier this meeting, and the amount of progress they've made to being committed to correct the system to where it needs to be. I have faith that these two will get it done, but there's also a miscommunication between some staff and board members. I want to work with all of you. I want to better this system. I want to make it the best system, probably the number one in this country. That has been my main focus for the last 6 years. And our board, they are dedicated to the work they do. And I know the CEO, with his hands are tied, he is doing he can, working with his staff coincide to make sure what we need for all of our riders and us advocates, what we need to get through our daily lives. I ask today from the board, we just want the best for you. We want to work together. We want to find solutions, and we want to be able to make Detroit the number one system here in America. We have potential. Detroit is growing. Detroit downtown, we have a new building that's going up in the old parking garage for almost 2 decades straight. We're finally seeing the revitalization in our suburbs, and our rural areas outside of Detroit are also thriving. Detroit is the move. Detroit is where everybody's making their mark, raising their families, but most of all, investing in transit. It is a step forward. And from someone that comes from a downriver community with hardly any transit, with 1 30-minute service line that's runs by my house every weekday,
I want transit in my neighborhood. And as a transit advocate that does so much in this state and rides transit for as long as he could, we need better solutions, but we also need to come together. I'm all about unity. I'm not about divide. And for someone that now works across the street with the commission's office, we all need to work together and find solutions, whether that's on a county level or a
Mr.
state level.
Pawlowski?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any additional members of the public that would like to speak? Thank you very much. So a closed public participation. I'll reiterate some of what was said during public participation, which is, it's hard, I was thinking about this morning. I mean, it's hard to believe we haven't even been a year since the voters in Oakland County approved a countywide millage. I mean, it is, it's the end of September and that was in November. So, first and foremost, we have to be grateful to the residents of Oakland County who spoke so clearly that they wanted us to expand and enhance and develop countywide transit. So we know it hasn't been without its challenges, but if we look back on what we've been able to do since that millage was approved, in Oakland County, we now have a transit division with a manager and a planner and soon to be a second planner. So that office will be fully staffed. We have contracts with all of our local providers now, including People's Express, who's providing local service in Western Oakland County in a seamless way and without the borders, stopping the transportation they can provide. And of course, as we've referenced, we have the service out to Novi. It is the expansion of transit, the most expansion of transit our region has seen in decades. So we're very proud of that. We know that these are challenging times in terms of the staffing. And, it is easy to say that we should just simply increase the driver's pay. But as we have said at this table before, there are numerous issues involved in a negotiation, and a negotiation is just that. It's a negotiation between the workers who are represented by a union, which is a right that we all fully support, and with the management team at SMART. So, we hope that everybody at that negotiation, at that bargaining table, can come to a resolution soon so that we can see that come to a close, but it's not something that only one side controls. So we know that that's an ongoing process. And we also know that, there's been some frustrations. I would say that this team of activists should talk to the mall owners at 12 Oaks. Because they are not allowing the buses into the mall, and that does present a challenge to us that SMART has to work through. So folks who feel that should be allowed should voice their opinion where it would be most effective, which is not at SMART and which is not at Oakland County, but it is at Novi and it's at the owners of the mall. Hopefully, we can reach a resolution that, makes for a safe area out there. It is our top priority. So I appreciate the public comment. I appreciate Robert's talk of unity. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're a transit advocate, we are all on the same side of trying to improve and enhance transit. Sometimes it doesn't feel like that, but that is, we all do share the same goals and the same values. So with that, I'll turn it over to our general manager, Mr. Farrell.
Good afternoon. There are a couple of things that I just want to brief the board on. As you know, we've launched a Smarter Mobility Program, which basically is the review in terms of how we want to expand flex across the service. So we had in the month of September 6 different meetings. We had a steering committee meeting in Macomb. We met with state and elected officials at SIMCOG. We also had Wayne County elected officials in a separate meeting that was also at SIMCOG. We had other key stakeholders, and we had meetings in both Oakland and Macomb with their elected officials to talk about smarter mobility. So our objective is to be able to make sure that we touch as many different stakeholders, for lack of a better term, to get their input on what this service needs to look like. So we will keep you up to date on that as we go. And then one other thing that I'd like to brief the board on, that's actually two things. One is I was invited by Black Tech Saturday. So this is a organization of Black technology firms. Some of them are startups. Some of them are have been doing business for some time. But they asked me to come out because they wanted to hear more about how technology how technology impacts public transportation. And so they had some really, really great ideas about some things that they are doing for other organizations within the region that we want to try to take a look at for here at SMART. But what I was really gratified about the fact was that they reached out to us because they recognized the importance of SMART and its impact on technology and how we can use that. So that was one thing. And then last, I'd like to thank Dr. Ivey in his absence and Commissioner Hattis for inviting me to an event yesterday where we had Tiffany and I, where we had the opportunity to hear Dr. Cornel West speak. It was enlightening to say the very least, but a once in a lifetime opportunity. So I want to thank them for that. And hopefully you will see by these invitations and things that SMART the SMART brand is getting out there. This is a funny anecdote. I had somebody call me recently and ask me if I was in DC. And I said, no, I'm not in DC. And I asked him, well, why are you asking me that? He says, because I see SMART all up in DC and I thought it was you guys. Well, it wasn't us. But the fact of the matter is somebody who's locally here was in DC, and when they saw SMART, they thought about us. So that's saying a lot about how we are raising the profile for our organization and the positive impact that that's having. And I do want to I do want to say this. I know that I appreciate the advocates who come forward to talk about all the different things that SMART needs to do. And I want to make sure that they're aware. We are aware of all of those things. And as our board chair said, if it was simple as just paying people more money, we would have been done with this long ago. But it's much more complicated than that. And we are making progress and will continue to make progress because, trust me, it is in the organization's best interest. We can't deliver the service if we don't have bodies. We're very aware of that. And so in order to be able to expand service in Oakland and to provide more consistent service across the service area, we know we have to have bodies. So I'm trying something with this new class to see how effective it is at retaining them, and I'll let you know next month if it worked. But I don't want to say what it is until if I see it worked or not. And that concludes my report, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. Any questions for the general manager? Thank you. So we'll move on to item number 10, the nominating committee reports. And I can't remember who I appointed as chairperson. Ah, Brett. Oh, no, Vicky.
Yes.
Okay. Vicky, as the chairperson, is there a report?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. We met this afternoon prior to our board meeting. And we are recommending as chair, Mr. Abdul Hattis from Wayne County and Mr. John Paul Rea from Macomb County as vice chair. It was unanimous. And that concludes our report.
Thank you very much. Do we have to do anything with that recommendation? Or that happens at the next meeting? Do we take a vote at the next meeting, or does Mr. Hattis become the chair at the next meeting? And then he becomes the chair at the next meeting, or in October,
You will-
November?
You will switch seats, yes.
In October.
Yes.
Okay, just want to be clear.
Be honored. They have your seat.
All right, I can't ever keep the timing straight in my mind. Maybe it's because that first year was a little bit different. But okay, so it's October. That's the transition month. Okay, well, I have to appropriately welcome you next month then.
I hope the rest of the board don't think every time you leave, you be late. Just gonna have a new start time, that's all.
All right, so this will be if we go, oh, we're doing the HR hiring update now? Okay, good.
Good afternoon. I am going to give the hiring update in lieu of Ms. Leapart, who is away at conference, learning all that she can about MERS to further strengthen our organization. So with that, I believe we have the numbers on the board. We do. From our last meeting, August 24th through September 24th, at the beginning of this week, we were able to hire 15 fixed route coach operators, 3 connector bus operators, 1 ADA clerk, 1 customer service representative, and 1 coach service and shelter attendant. If we move to the next slide, that's a net of 21. We look at this in its entirety. We also look at the separations for that same period, of which we lost 5 fixed route coach operators for a net of 10 remaining. 5 connector bus operators, which is a negative net 2, net 2 negative, I should say, in terms of connector bus operators. And we lost 2 coach service and shelter attendants. So we're in the positive by 1. Well, we're negative 1, excuse me. And we had 4 retirements. So overall, I guess I'll say I'm happy to report that we're in the positive for 10 fixed route coach operators, which is better than what we heard last month of a negative outcome for the month. So we are continuing to aggressively pursue and look for additional drivers. We have a job fair coming up on October 20th at Macomb Community College at the Warren campus. That will run from 10 to noon and then again from 1 to 4 p.m. On that day. And we are encouraging people to come out. We'll be promoting that across all of our social media channels and working with our external affairs team to also promote that as well. We do have some good news to report on what's going on actively. We had sort of a rotation of almost 3 total classes, 1 that was in session and 2 that are on the road doing training at this time, of which we have 12 operators that just came out of probation or going into probation this week and are continuing with 11 trainees. So we are seeing some of the numbers increase, as Dwight said, and I'm not going to take any of his exciting news for next month away. We're trying some new things with our trainees to engage them and ensure that we have greater retention going forward. On October 20th, the same day as the job fair, we'll be having our first graduation class with this group of trainees as well, to just help recognize how important the job is that they're going to do and really show up and be there for them. So we're excited about that. And that concludes our hiring update for now. Any questions?
Any questions? Okay, well, thank you very much.
Do we have more applicants to those positions and we choose, or the applicant number was low?
The applicant numbers are going up. I don't have the exact data, but I'll bring that for next month.
Thank you.
Absolutely. You're welcome.
Okay, so moving on to new business, I'll take a motion to consider a resolution, Title VI report approval of monitoring results.
So moved, Madam Chair.
Support.
Moved and supported. Miss Lloyd, welcome.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. Staff is recommending board approval of the resolution approving the 2021 to 2023 Title VI program and approving submittal of the program to the FTA to remain eligible for funding. Based on FTA guidance, every 3 years, staff presents its Title VI program to the Board of Directors. The document provides a comprehensive analysis of SMART's fixed route service as it relates to equity for our riders. The document is extensive, as you noted if you looked at it. However, I wanted to bring to you a few examples of topics that are covered in the plan, including SMART's process for accepting and addressing complaints from the public, SMART's service standards. In other words, what will SMART strive to do to ensure its routes, times of operation, transit amenities, and overall performance are non-discriminatory? The public hearing process SMART will follow when it is enacting a major service or fare change, and the language assistance plan on how SMART disseminates information to the public, including to non or limited English-speaking persons. Everything included in the Title VI plan assists SMART in its goal to provide non-discriminatory service to the public. I can answer any questions about the plan or any of the information I've just covered.
Any questions? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the submission of the Title VI report?
Aye.
Any opposed? And the resolution is approved. Take a motion authorizing to award a contract for SaaS renewal for the fiscal year 2024 office license.
So moved.
Support.
Been moved and supported. Good afternoon, Mr. Evans.
Good afternoon. Staff recommends the board approve the resolution authorizing the renewal of the M365 Software as a Service Office license at a cost of $1,372,699. This is paid for using the authority's general fund. SMART uses this Microsoft 365 for its Office suite, which includes collaboration tools such as Teams, along with Word, Excel, and Outlook. To switch to another product will result in a loss of productivity due to staff not being familiar with the new software. Also, this contract was awarded to the incumbent, SoftChoice, because it had offered a significant discount on the product. I'm here to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions? Hearing none, close the discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And the resolution is approved. Thank you, Mr. Evans. The next item, I guess, will be yours as well. If you want to stay at the podium, I'll take a motion to authorize to approve a change order for Clever Devices cellular modem upgrades.
So moved.
Support.
Been moved and supported. Mr. Evans?
Staff recommends the board approve the resolution authorizing a purchase order change action for Clever Devices cellular modem upgrade. This change action increase is $1,798,688. With this change, it will change the not to exceed amount to $6,334,334. This is paid for using state and federal funds. This contract change actions are required to replace the onboard cellular modems. The current cellular modems were purchased in 2018 and are scheduled to be replaced in the next 12 months. The replacement of the cellular modems have been added to the ADL refresh project to utilize the AT&T FirstNet cellular network. The AT&T FirstNet network has a dedicated network frequency that the cellular modems has to be designed to connect to, which our current modems do not. I'm here to answer any questions you may have about this increase.
So the original purchase was 4.5 million in January of 2023.
Yes.
Any questions? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And the resolution is approved. Item number D, I'll take a motion on a resolution authorizing to approve a contract amendment for additional funding for the purchase of 31 cutaway buses for community services.
So moved, Madam Chair. Support.
Been moved and supported. Mr. Byrd?
Well, good
welcome.
afternoon, Madam Chair, Smart's Board of Directors, General Manager Farrell, Deputy General Manager Gunter, and Smart staff and participating members of the public. It is the recommendations of Smart's Maintenance Department that the board adopts the attached resolution authorizing a contract amendment requesting additional funding for the purchase of 27 cutaway buses to Tesco Corporation located in Seaman Road, Oregon, Ohio, at additional cost not to exceed $1,747,061. On December 2nd, 2021, Smart's board approved a contract with Tesco Corporation for the purchase of 31 cutaway vehicles. 25 of the vehicles are to be used to replace vehicles that are age eligible for retirement in Smart's community partnership fleet, and the remaining 6 to replace vehicles lost to a fire at Macon Transit, which is a point of service partnership operating roughly 10 to 14 buses. To date, 4 vehicles have been delivered under the original contract pricing to Macon Transit located in Westland, Michigan. The requesting for additional funding not to exceed $1,747,061 is needed to fund the vehicles that were placed on back order due to global chain shortages. The remaining 27 vehicles are to be delivered to assign to 19 different community partnerships located throughout the Wayne, Oakland, and Macomb communities. Any questions?
When are they to be delivered?
These buses are like mid-November, they will go online.
Excellent. Okay, any question? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, we need to clean up. Is this 27 or 31?
It was 31 original, 4 have been delivered.
Oh. So it's 31.
With 31, yes, it was 31 total at the beginning,
Yeah, but-
4 have
but-
been delivered and paid for.
Right, so the fact of the matter is, this is a procurement for 31 vehicles. We're asking the board to increase the not to exceed amount for that.
Yes.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And the buses are purchased. Item number E, I take a motion to resolution authorizing award a contract for antifreeze, coolant, gear oil, grease, and windshield fluid.
So moved. Support.
Been moved and supported.
Okay. It is a recommendation that the board adopts the attached resolution, authorize the award of a contract for antifreeze, coolant, and gear oil and windshield washer fluid to Raleigh's Wholesale. This is a 1-year contract at a cost not to exceed $210,000. Any questions?
No questions. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And the resolution is approved. Take a motion to approve a resolution authorizing to award a contract for oil and transmission fluids.
So moved, Madam Chair. Support.
Been moved and supported.
It is the recommendation that the board adopts the attached resolution authorizing the award of a contract for oil and transmission fluids to Light and Oil. This is a 1-year contract not to exceed $630,000. Any questions?
No questions.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And the resolution is approved.
Madam Chair, make a motion, we move into executive session.
Been
Support.
Support, and all those, and we'll take a roll call about moving into executive session. Yes, aye.
Yes.
Royce Manico, Mr. Burt Raisington.
Yes.
Mr. John Paul Rea.
Yes.
Ms. Vicky Wilbur.
Yes.
If it was just that like Kelly's petition, it's before converted motor cities, it was getting the designation of the bench for the Auto National Heritage Area. So it was before. It wasn't even called Motor Cities at that time.
Yeah, I read the.
Yes,
I read.
yes,
I
yeah,
like-
it was the formation of it originally.
We worked with someone. This is.
Yeah.
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 Yes. I had Dr. Grip one, we would try those, but my problem with the Dr. Grip one is you see like this. Like large, like you think on top of these.
What's that?
August City, I love doing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's, yeah, yes, I think that's who it was. I think it was in the
Yeah.
90s.
Yeah.
The mid-90s, yeah, when we were, yeah.
I had this surgery on my eyes, so the lights.
Yeah, I see, yeah.
You
have a baseball cap.
Okay, yes.
If I may, Madam Chair,
And I thought on your, I think it's.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion to proceed as recommended by council in closed session.
I'll support that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And that resolution is approved. Thank you very much. Any other board member business?
Madam Chair, I just have one item. I know that I've talked to staff already that at the APTA conference coming up, there's going to be a lot of hydrogen fuel cell buses on the floor. The vendors will be there. We'll have an opportunity to ask many questions. I know we're doing an alternative fuels analysis. And, you know, we've got electric on one side and the new technology on hydrogen fuel cells. And I think, as I remember, there's the largest hydrogen fuel cell business coming into the Flint area that's going to be built over the next few years. So my thought here was to get as much information as staff goes down there for the board, so we could have a briefing once they come back from APTA. And as I was at the last transportation meeting at SIMCOG, they had a technical assistance program where there's going to be future funding for infrastructure, particularly for transit agencies. And I thought they have a technical assistance program where you can hire a consultant at up to $80,000. And I thought we might, in a year or so, or even 6 months, put an application together for our needs that might look at some of these new technologies that are coming out. So I'm just hoping that we can get a report from staff, maybe when they do get back from the APTA conference. I've always found the APTA conference to be of great value. You get to talk to the people that are in the trenches building this new technology, and they're from all over the world. So you can really get a good understanding of how fast this is moving and where the industry is. So I thought all these moving parts that we have going on right now, that there might be an opportunity here sometime this next year to really put a good application together and limit our costs on this new technology.
Good idea. Thank you.
Good. Thank you. I just wanted to let everyone know that this should be my last board meeting. I am retiring from Macomb County next month. So after 23 years.
You're telling us now and that you're not going to be here next month?
Motion to decline Ms. Wilbur's resignation.
Thank you. Well, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. And I'd just like to thank everyone for my almost 5 years. that I've been here. I've really learned a lot. I've enjoyed it, and especially to the staff, thank you very much for all your hard work. It's been a pleasure. Very excited with the new leadership that we brought on and that we continue to have. It was exciting to have Smart out last week for the smart mobility and have people there and in the community. So I've enjoyed my time, but now it's time for me to go and do other things. So thank you very much.
Well, if you were so inclined, I mean, we would love the opportunity to appropriately recognize your service, but I know you may not be able to come back to us and JP may have to provide, I mean, I could have brought an Oakland County coin at least.
We got like a handful of those in the office. You're good.
Well, thank you so much.
You will be missed. Okay. Your quality and leadership. It's appreciated and we enjoy working with you. And we wish you the best.
Thank you very much.
What are you looking for?
Thanks. Thanks.
I'm sorry we're losing the more capable Macomb County board member too.
We're not gonna touch that.
I know.
Don't worry.
You're
gonna have
have
to
to
like
figure
to
some
be-
stuff out as chair and vice chair. That's even more scarier proposition for you.
Yes, yes. I really want to apologize about being late today and thank God, you know, that he didn't make the day 30 hours, only 24 hours. There's certain time we have to stop. But today been really very busy day, politically and family, both together.
Okay.
And so, but I thank God I managed, and thanks to Tiffany for wake me up, eh? You have something else here. I said, I dropped, I didn't even go home to change. I said, it's the best to see me in my worst.
You look great. You look great.
So.
We appreciate it.
Thank
No
you,
worries,
thank
no
you
worries
for
at all.
waiting, really, for your patience.
Madam Chair, if there's no further business, I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll support it.
Moved and supported. All those in favor?
Aye.
I wasn't gonna support it, it's the last meeting.
I know.
but-